everyone, welcome to the Industry Show. I'm your host Nitin Bajaj, and joining me today is Ana Chaud of Chaud and Company. Ana, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Nitin. It's awesome to be here today.
It is our pleasure. So tell us, who's Ana?
You know, when I try to figure out what is the fabric that puts it all together about me, I pretty much can nail that I am what I call a change agent. For as long as I remember, I have been very much in touch with change. From an early age in my life, I realized that change was the only constant that I had. So I learned how to get ahead of the game by developing this, what I call an internal GPS, which kind of tells me when it's the right time to make a change. So I've used that throughout my career and in my personal life as well. And so that has been sort of the thread that has been present with me throughout my career, which I don't have a linear path, as most people know that know me. But it's been a really good compounding career of different things that I've done. So I'm very happy with the results so far. So,
you're now a renowned expert in the startup world. Tell us, what do you do?
So as you're probably going to hear later in this interview, I exited my company last year. So I've been in transition since, figuring out what's the next change. It's a change, right? So it's a transition. And so lately what I've been doing is I've been working with founders and CEOs and executives of companies to help them with some typical challenges that comes up with the position. And so I help them navigate these challenges and figure out ways to sort of improve their leadership skills and overcome these issues that come when that arise when you're starting to grow a company. And I'm working on one-on-one with these leaders, and our goal is to figure out ways to improve their leadership skills, but also overcome these barriers by working on some personal roadblocks that they have that could sometimes prevent you from moving forward.
You started and ran the Garden Bar, which was a critical and a commercial success. What led you to go into the restaurant business, and why did you get out of it?
It was not so much of the restaurant industry as much as was a business idea that I wanted to pursue. So as I mentioned before, I've had different lives and different positions, different careers, and I always wanted to work in the health space. And at the time, I was trying to figure out what would be the play that would make more sense for me. And I had the idea of a healthy, chain. I had a chain of restaurants that would serve healthy food. So Garden Bar came as an option, and I decided to explore that option, give it a shot. And it was one of those things where I had to start from concept and then grow the business. So it was a journey from concept to exit. And in between, I had to fundraise, I had to learn how to scale, I had to learn how to go from 1 store to 9 stores and experienced basically the entire business cycle. So that's what was more attractive to me, was the business idea, developing the business, growing the business. The restaurant just happened to be in the restaurant world. As far as why I got out of it, because it was the right time. I went, the strategy was we were first movers. We had the first mover advantage in Portland. We were the first chain of solid restaurants in the town. So I built to be a target for acquisition. And so it happened is exactly how I had thought about. I mean, we grew it, we set our footprint in the city. And then when our closest competitor wanted to come to town, we decided that would be a strategic move for them to just grow by acquiring us instead of competing with us.
Not every company is going to become a unicorn. And in that,
right.
How do you work with these founders to define what the success is and then measure up to that?
I try not to get hung up on like, how do we reach success? How do we reach success? I try to work with them to understand that success is a side effect. So if you really put all the steps in place, And if you are very comfortable on this path that we are following, success will happen. It is the fact that we just need to be really aware of where we're going. That's why we start out by trying to extract what's that unicorn in that company. And then we go, and then and again, the unicorn is basically the initial vision, right? Which we had lost sight because we're so out there. So we take that, and that's how we go again and figure out success.
What's your source of inspiration and motivation?
Traveling, hands down. That is where I get, like, traveling is what opens my world and makes me, I get inspired, I get motivated, I just recharged, and yeah, so that's a big one. And if I can't travel as much, which is the case right now, although I've been managed to travel within the US, I do a lot of books. Dancing is a big one for me, and music, of course. But dancing is a big thing for me because I use dance as my creative outlet, and I dance my entire life. So it's usually when I get inspired, it's while I'm moving, and that really makes a difference. In case you didn't notice, my hands move a lot.
Nice. What are you curious about lately?
My biggest curiosity these days is neuroscience. It's been in the forefront of everything I read, how the brain works, but also how we can apply everything that we're learning in neuroscience to our day-to-day that helps our day-to-day. So that's a lot of what I'm just so in love with. It's neuroscience. I like learning about neuroplasticity, and obviously I've always been curious about nutrition. This has been one of the reasons I opened Garden Bar, and I now I'm marrying the nutrition with the neuroscience, and then how I can work with my clients, because I can work with my clients all the way to say, hey, maybe you are lacking some nutrients, that's why you're so tired. There's a couple of things, everything's sort of interconnected, and I love to learn how everything comes together so we can have, everything's going to be better if we're better. So that's sort of the ultimate goal.